And joining us in studio now to speak more about Haskell and other statements is founder and CEO of the Israel Innovation Fund and host of JNS Wine with Adam Bellos. Adam, hi.
Hi, thank you for having me once again. Nice to be here with you.
Definitely. Now, what more can you tell us about the morning tour in the Jordan Valley yesterday?
So, I mean, if you look at Sharen's past, let's say 9 years in Israeli politics, sovereignty has always been a very big issue for her. She is kind of the darling of the right wing, so to speak. She was once the youngest member in the coalition until she moved parties recently in 2021. Sovereignty with Sharen Haskell, it's very important to understand. Sharen does not toe a party line. It's one of the reasons why she left the Likud, and sovereignty is a huge part of her ideology.
Now, why specifically is the annexation of the Jordan Valley coming up now? I mean, it was talked about many times, but why now again?
So it's not the first time that it's come up. Like you said, it's been talked about many times before. This has been something that Sharen has been pushing for 7 to 8 years. It's a very smart strategic move if you're looking at the security implications for Israel. If you've ever seen any videos or presentations on defensible borders with Israel, they always harp on the importance of the Jordan Valley, one, because of the hills and the valley itself, and two, because it is the largest border that we have with any other country other than Egypt. Okay, so it's Jordan, it's our largest border. I would say two. Okay, second reason why is because there's only 85,000 Palestinian citizens there. There's about 15,000 Israelis. So when we're talking about applying annexation and then allowing citizenship to be granted to those who apply for it, you're looking at a much, excuse me, smaller number than if we were to say annexing all of area A or B or C or all three of those areas.
Now, what's going to happen with Palestinian citizenship in the area right now?
So the way that it was explained to me by Sharen's team is that it's going to be offered to those similar, I guess you could say similarly to how people who are like request amnesty in the United States or maybe people who were there illegally and then are able to get retrograde citizenship. So from what I understand, the entire point is to not only annex it, but to grant citizenship to the majority of the Palestinians that are in that area as well. So again, not a huge amount of people, okay, both Israeli and Palestinian, very strategic militarily, and it's about securing our border. Remember, annexation, sovereignty, huge part of the right-wing Zionist ideology, or revisionism.
Now, we heard MK Sharen Haskell clear statement about the need of sovereignty in the Jordan Valley. Now, as an MK in the opposition, why does she think it's such an important thing right now? I mean,
that's a great question. Okay, let me tell you why it's a great question. Exactly what you were talking about before I came on, the courts, okay? And if you look at why Sharen left the Likud, it really wasn't a personal conflict that she had with Bibi. It was more of an ideological conflict. And the Jordan Valley, from what I understand, was a very big part of that because Bibi tabled annexation for the Jordan Valley over the finalizing of the Abraham Accords. Okay, so right now, every party that isn't the Likud, that considers themselves the right, wants to be the real right now, which is really interesting because of the courts and everything that's going on. And they kind of feel that Bibi is no longer representing the right anymore. We saw this with the rise of Smotrich and Ben-Gvir and the disappearance of Shaked and Bennett, and now with the massive protests that we're seeing around the country. So it's not that it's coming out of nowhere. And as a member of the opposition, her trying to push forward a right-wing agenda from the opposition, I actually think it's a really smart move to showcase where her National Unity Party stands, if that makes sense.
Definitely. Now, you interviewed Sharen not long ago. I mean, we don't hear much of her usually in the government. I mean, she moved from the Likud now to the Unity Party of Benny Gantz and Gideon Sa'ar. What can you tell us more about the woman?
Oh, so much.
Keep it short.
I'll keep it short. I've known Sharen for about 8 years, or 6, 7 years, something like that. I met her when we were filming a documentary on medical marijuana. And, or my organization was filming a documentary on medical marijuana. And she was the youngest member of the coalition. We heard a lot from her when the Likud was trying to really push her and promote her and showcase her as like a future representative of the country, especially as a young woman that had kind of finagled her way into the boys' club of the Likud. We saw over time that she was not kind of growing in the primaries of the Likud, mostly because she doesn't toe a party line. And that's what I respect most about Sharen Haskell, is that she's an individual thinker. And that's really important when it comes to your politicians who are willing to lose their place in politics in order to stand up for what they believe in. Now, I don't agree with everything that she says. I think she's fantastic. She's one of my favorite politicians. But it does say something that when somebody doesn't toe a party line, you know, forefront of the medical marijuana revolution in Israel, forefront of the sovereignty movement in Israel, and also somebody that was willing. I mean, listen, a lot of people would have questioned her move from Likud to Gideon Sa'ar's party, but it worked out very well for her, and I think that showcases her ability to maneuver politically.
It definitely does. So it seems like she's going to succeed here too, Adam Bellos.
I hope so. She's a good person.
Thank you so much for joining us, Adam.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you.